Destiny's degeneracy spreads to his son. As we can see here, Nathan Bonnell, Destiny's son, Stephen Bonnell, is tweeting that Hitler is a hero. And it's understandable when you know the background of Destiny. A guy who was a self-avowed racist that had unlearned his racism later in his 30s. Like, let's be honest. Later in his 30s is when he unlearned his racism. But the reality is this guy had a failed marriage, which ended in a divorce, which is where his son was born from. He then proceeded to date another person who he had an open relationship with, and then got married eventually with that person. And then they divorced because that person found another femboy to leave Destiny for. So this is a multiple time divorced father who is not present in his son's life. Currently his son lives with his ex-wife, and from what I can tell, based on what people say online, they don't have a cordial relationship. Destiny's idea of fathering this kid is banning him from his Discord for 24 hours. So combine a dysfunctional father who has been divorced multiple times, who lives a very controversial lifestyle. He's known to get into open relationships. There's even allegations that he's had sex with Nick Fuentes. So this is a guy that is very comfortable talking with avowed white supremacists. Like, if you looked at the conversations that Destiny had with Nick Fuentes before, they were adversarial, but you could tell behind closed doors these two were very friendly. So this is the lifestyle and the type of people that Destiny gravitates towards. So of course his son is going to gravitate towards this ideology, which is why, again, he called Hitler a hero. And he's a self-avowed groiper, and if you're not familiar with what a groiper is, that is a Nick Fuentes follower. And Nick Fuentes is a self-avowed white supremacist, a Jew hater, and somebody that admires Hitler. Similar to Kanye, like he worked with Kanye on his presidential election, and we know how Kanye fell in love with Hitler too. So, yeah, you combine all this degeneracy into one father, and the son is doomed to meet this demise of racism. And we can scroll through his Twitter because this is just the tip of the iceberg, and it seems like he is rebelling against Destiny. This seems like a cry for help, just like Kanye was having his cry for help with his continual N-word hard R songs, Hail Hitler song. This is a cry for help when, again, total hard R victory. 1.4K tuned in. This is him posting Nazi propaganda. And it looks like he is completely rebelling against Destiny. And people are right to call this out. I don't care if he's a 14-year-old. If your son is posting Nazi propaganda and using your likeness and your influence, because a lot of his supporters boosted his son. His son's come on stream a couple times and built a base based on that. It's not like nobody's following this guy. Like, clearly he used his dad's popularity and his dad's likeness to get this following of 17.5K. So this is the result of Destiny, and people should talk about this. This is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane that your son is posting Nazi propaganda and you as a father have nothing to say about it. Destiny has not denounced any of this, and it's been 24 hours. Like, your son is saying, "Hail!" Like, look at this. He says, "Heil Hitler," and he has no shame about it. He said, yes, it is. yes, it is Heil Hitler. What he says multiple times. And this kid does not sound smart either. Like, Destiny is for the most part, he sounds intelligent. I'm not sure about how he sounded earlier in his life, but it seems like this kid he has a speech disorder. So we can look at this video right here where he says he's not joking about being a Nazi.
Being fully serious, like, do you actually mean the stuff that you say on Twitter when you say that you're a Nazi?
I mean everything I say on Twitter. I just say it in a funny way, to come off more relaxed. I mean everything I say completely. Sometimes it comes off as a joke because I say it in a joking manner, to come off more relaxed than other alright people.
So he's hiding his power level so that, similar to Nick Fuentes, you make yourself sound appealing so that people get ideologically captured by you, and all of a sudden they are eventually regurgitating white supremacist talking points. So Jillian Michaels is a good example of that. I had the video before about how she was basically posting David Duke talking points about how only 2% of white people owned slaves during the slavery era of America. And this is how they get you. They get you by hiding their power level. And all of a sudden they have this massive following who is regurgitating their talking points. And you can tell, again, this seems like a cry for help. Destiny is not talking to his son. He's not engaging with his son. And his son is pretending like this is an anime, that this is not real life, that this is a drama stream that he must continue to feed on. Look at him, he's singing his aura farm. Oh my God. I can't imagine my son doing this stuff, and I think the type of ideology that your son espouses is very indicative of how he was brought up at home. Destiny needs, and again, Destiny is an N-word user, so naturally the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, or the apple doesn't fall far from the Nazi tree. Then he says Christ is King, which is something that Candace Owens regurgitates. So he's full on the alt-right pipeline, and in my opinion, we have nobody but Destiny, aka Stephen Bonnell, who is a degenerate, lives a degenerate lifestyle, does not take care of his kids. This is what happens when you have influence and it's unchecked and you don't understand the consequences of what you're saying. Hopefully he realizes before he falls off the deep end, which is very likely to happen soon, that all this negative attention that he's getting is not going to lead to a career later on. Destiny is obviously a multimillionaire because of his following. He's a very influential person, so he was able to trade his influence for a career. But the reality is, if you are a self-avowed Nazi at 15, there's nowhere else for you to go. Do you think any university is going to accept you when you're saying Hail Hitler on Twitter? One background check and you're basically on the blacklist for any organization. So really the only way out of this at this point, because he's spiraling and the end is not in sight, the only way out of this situation is him becoming a kick streamer, because Twitch will not have this anti-Semitism on their platform. YouTube will not have this anti-Semitism on their platform. So Kick is really the only place to go, and there's already enough Nazi streamers on Kick. So if that's your angle, then you are going into an already crowded field where you are not charismatic, you do not speak well, and you're not attractive. Let's be honest. You got the genes of Destiny, and Destiny does not have good genes. I'm not sure what his wife looks like, but this is not someone that is very attractive at all, and not somebody that will do good on streaming platforms. So like I said, good luck. But Destiny, this is what this is what your lifestyle has fostered, this is exactly what we told you would happen, since you are a bad father, a deadbeat father who refused to distance his son from this online lifestyle, or refused to raise your son. And it's a total NGGER victory, right, Destiny? I mean, since you want to say the word so bad. But anyway, that's it for me. I hope Destiny really gets some counseling, and he gets his son some counseling, because whatever this is very, it's very sad. It's very, very, very sad.